Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
In 2016, Netflix released a series that would change pop culture forever. A show that blended 80s nostalgia, supernatural horror, and heartfelt friendship into one unforgettable story. That show was Stranger Things. From the quiet town of Hawkins to the terrifying realm of the Upside Down, Stranger Things has grown from a small mystery to a worldwide phenomenon. This is the evolution of Stranger Things, from 2016 to 2025.
In the quiet town of Hawkins, Indiana, something strange was waiting to be discovered. It started on an ordinary night. A boy vanishes, a secret government lab hides dark experiments, and an otherworldly force stirs beneath the surface. What began as a small Netflix show in 2016 would soon become a story that defined a generation, a journey of friendship, fear, and the fight against the unknown. This is the rise of Stranger Things.
Season 1 was where it all began, the story of a missing boy named Will Byers and a group of friends who refused to give up on him. Mike, Lucas, and Dustin were just kids, outcasts, dreamers, and dungeon masters who stumbled into a mystery far beyond their imagination. When they met a girl with a shaved head and a number tattooed on her arm, everything changed. 11 wasn't just another lost child. She was the key, a weapon created by a government experiment haunted by a world called the Upside Down.
Through every moment, from the flickering Christmas lights spelling out messages from another dimension to Joyce Byers' desperate screams echoing through her house, the show built tension, not through explosions, but through emotion. Every beat felt real. Every friendship felt alive. 11 became more than a character. She became a symbol of innocence corrupted by power, of trauma transformed into strength.
And then came we fear most, the monster that lurks just beyond the walls of our...
The first season hadn't faded. Will was back, but something inside him wasn't the same. The Upside Down was
beating hearts. It wasn't about monsters anymore. It was about healing.
As Will fought the thing that had invaded his mind, the town's fragile peace crumbled. Possession, paranoia, and sacrifice intertwined. Bob, the lovable boyfriend played by Sean Astin, reminded everyone that heroes can come from anywhere, only to die trying to save others. When 11 finally returned, she wasn't the same scared girl we met in Season 1. She was stronger, a force of nature closing the gate to the Upside Down with tears streaming down her face. Her scream wasn't just power, it was pain, release, and rebirth. The ending of Season 2 wasn't about victory, it was about survival. Hawkins had been saved, for now. But deep below, the Mind Flayer still waited, watching through the cracks, biding its time.
I want you to find something from your past, something that angers you. Now channel it.
Season 3 arrived with brighter colors, neon lights, and a false sense of peace. The kids were teenagers now, awkward, emotional, navigating love and change. Summer had arrived in Hawkins, and with it, a new monster lurking in the shadows. The Starcourt Mall became the heart of everything, a shiny, capitalist paradise that hid something horrific beneath it. While families shopped upstairs, Russians worked below, drilling open another gate to the Upside Down.
The tone shifted. It was bigger, louder, and more cinematic. But at its core, it was still about the same themes: friendship, love, and loss. 11 and Mike's young romance, Hopper's struggle to be a father, Joyce's desperate intuition that something was wrong. Everything felt real, grounded in emotion, even as chaos erupted around them.
And then came Billy. Once a bully, now a pawn of the Mind Flayer.
His transformation from aggressor to victim was heartbreaking. Behind his rage was pain, and in the end, redemption. When Billy sacrificed himself to save 11 and the others, his death hit harder than any monster's roar. It reminded us that Stranger Things has never been about defeating evil. It's about finding humanity in the darkness. The final battle at Starcourt Mall was pure cinematic brilliance. Fireworks, tears, and explosions lighting up a war between dimensions. And when Hopper disappeared in the blast, it felt like the end of everything. Eleven's letter, his voice echoing through her mind, was one of the most emotional moments in the entire series. Make mistakes, learn from them, and when life hurts you, because it will, remember the hurt. The hurt is good. It wasn't just advice to 11, it was a message to all of us.
Months passed. The Byers family and 11 left Hawkins, and for the first time, the group was divided. But the story wasn't over, because evil never truly dies. It just waits. Then came Season 4. Darker, longer, and more powerful than anyone expected. The kids were no longer kids. They were scarred, separated by distance and grief. 11 had lost her powers, Hopper was gone, presumed dead, and Hawkins was still haunted. But a new evil had risen from the upside down. His name was Vecna.
Vecna wasn't just another monster. He was personal. He was human. His origins tied directly to 11 herself, a boy from the same lab, twisted by power, resentment, and rage. Season 4 didn't just raise the stakes, it shattered the boundaries of what Stranger Things could be. This wasn't about friendship versus darkness anymore. It was about guilt, trauma, and the weight of choices.
As Vecna targeted victims with haunting visions and bone-breaking terror, the show introduced its most iconic moment yet. Max, running for her life through memories and pain, escaping death to the sound of Running Up That Hill. It wasn't just a song, it was survival, hope, and defiance rolled into one heartbeat. The scene became legendary, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there's always light worth fighting for.
Meanwhile, Hopper was alive, trapped in a Russian prison, enduring unimaginable pain. His journey became one of redemption. The man who once felt powerless now fought monsters in chains, fueled by love for a daughter who believed he was gone. And in the end, when Joyce found him again, it felt like the universe finally allowed a little mercy.
Season 4 intertwined every thread, 11 regaining her power, confronting her past, and facing Vecna in an emotional showdown that pushed her to her limits. The group and Hawkins fought desperately to end the curse, but this time it wasn't enough. Max fell, her body broken but her spirit unbroken, and the world itself began to crack open.
The final moments of Season 4 were haunting. Hawkins was no longer safe. The Upside Down wasn't below anymore. It was here. The sky burned, the earth split, and the world of monsters began to bleed into ours. The characters stood on a hill overlooking the ruins of their town, realizing that the war had just begun.
And yet, through all the fear and destruction, Stranger Things reminded us what it's always been about: love, loss, and the strength we find in each other. Every season built upon the last, growing in scale, but never losing its heart. It's a story about growing up, about facing change, and about how sometimes the scariest monsters aren't from another world. They're the ones inside us.
From Will's disappearance to 11's powers, from Hopper's sacrifice to Max's fall, every moment has led to this, the final battle for Hawkins. The characters we've grown with are no longer children. They're soldiers, survivors, heroes shaped by trauma and bound by friendship.
The Duffer Brothers have promised that Season 5 will be the end, the closing chapter in a saga that began with a missing boy and a flickering light. But endings are never really the end in Stranger Things. Every goodbye hides another mystery. Every silence echoes with something waiting to return. And as we look toward the final season, one thing is certain. The story of Hawkins isn't just about monsters and powers. It's about us. About growing up, letting go, and facing the darkness with the people who make life worth fighting for.
Because in the end, that's what Stranger Things has always been. A reflection of our fears, our friendships, and our hope that even in the darkest night, there's still a light that refuses to go out. The gate is open, the storm is coming, and Hawkins is ready. From a rejected script to a worldwide phenomenon, Stranger Things changed entertainment forever. It reminded us of friendship, courage, and the power of imagination. It made us laugh, cry, and believe in the impossible. As the final lights in Hawkins fade, one thing remains true. Stranger Things will never truly end. Because legends never die. Tell us, which version of Stranger Things is your favorite? If you enjoyed this journey through cinematic history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing evolutions of your favorite movie icons. I'm Multiverse, and this was The Evolution of Stranger Things.